Guys, hello. Blizzard have done it again. They've surprised me with the latest patch coming out of nowhere. Yesterday, I just finished recording and uploading my Winter Wonderland video, which, I mean, go check that out if you haven't. But this morning, I come back to Overwatch to find that there's a new patch. So, let's get through it. I have played a little bit. I wasn't able to actually record for a while, but I have played, and oh my god. There's some stuff to go through. Again, this will be a little bit of a rushed video, so I do apologize. Now, real quick, I do want to apologize for not getting the original patch for this season out as a video. I did record it twice, actually, but there was just some big issues happening with it, so I do apologize about that. But this one should become a video, I hope. But let's just go straight into it. Doomfist was a menace to all of the support role, right? I was struggling, okay? But they have they've increased the cooldown of Rocket Punch. They have upped the amount of damage that Power Block needs to reach full charge, and they have down the amount of temporary health. I'll go through each of them one by one. So Rocket Punch, having the cooldown increased means that he's going to have it less frequently, which is always a good thing. For us support players. But it also means that if he dives into the back of your team and power blocks, he won't have the punch up as fast as he did from when the original patch came out at the start of the season. The power block nerf means that if I'm playing Kiriko and accidentally have two stray kunai traveling across the map and he hits his block, he's not going to be full charge, and it also means that your team can realize, oh shit, he's blocking, let me stop shooting. So that's really good there. And then his temporary health nerf, it's not massive, but it will be noticeable, right? So I'm actually pretty happy with these, especially since this isn't the mid-season patch, which is going to be changing a lot, which, by the way, I gotta give it to Blizzard. I didn't think they had the balls in them to do a patch rapidly, like a live service game. So, you know what? Clap to Blizzard. Good job, guys. I'm actually pretty impressed with this. This is definitely a really good set of nerfs to Doomfist. And also, I do want to say, while we're on tanks, I know there's one more tank in here. Actually, two more, sorry. But while we're on tanks, the current comp meta sucks because Hog, it's the one-shot meta. Hog is just the worst tank to play up against. I don't really care if anyone disagrees with me. Like, in my opinion, there is no justification for Hog being able to one-shot so easily and then get out of really bad situations just by hitting, well, for me, it's like R1 or whatever his freaking vape is. So, like, I don't know. Hog isn't fun, but they have said that they are going to be changing him in the mid-season patch, which the mid-season patch will be dropping in the first week of January. So we still have a couple weeks on the current patch, but I'm really happy with the rapid patch they've put out to solve some of the issues that were caused by the original Season 2 patch. But let's keep scrolling down. Okay, we're up to Orisa now, so as you can see, Ramattra down there, we'll get to him. But Orisa had her Terror Surge, so it now pierces through barriers, and the Augmented Fusion Driver has a greater fall-off range. So what this means for Orisa is, if you're going up against a Sigma, a Ramattra, a Reinhardt, or anyone else with a barrier like a Winston, if they put the barrier down prior to this in your Terror Surge ult, it would block all of the incoming damage, but now if they put it down and they're sealing your ring of effect, it'll go straight through. So that's a really cool buff to Orisa. I thought the ult was a little bit weak, but this should definitely help her dueling and ulting in those comps with barriers, especially since Orisa is a ton of fun, so I'm really happy that they weren't nerfing her or anything. These are just nice quality of life changes. The damage fall-off range should increase her lethality, which was a little bit weak. I did find that with Orisa, it's kind of hard to secure kills, even on squishies, so that's really nice. But yeah, Orisa's a ton of fun, and now we're going to get on to another tank, which is a ton of fun. Guys, Ramattra, if you're sleeping on Ramattra after this patch, you have to try him. Okay, so Ramattra, there aren't too many, as you can see. Again, this is a it's not the mid-season patch, so it's not a big one. It's just a quick patch. So there aren't going to be too many changes. It's just kind of small tweaks to make sure that the game feels good, right? But these are not small tweaks. These are pretty big. So first of all, the Nemesis form, his weakest form prior to this patch, he has a movement speed buff by 20%. That is almost a Lucio speed amped boost. It is amazing to just feel powerful when you're using Nemesis form, and not to mention he does gain an extra 75 armor on top of his old 150 to bump it up to 225. So you are actually a tank now, right? In Nemesis form, you are actually a tank, and paired with good supports, if you have a good support duo who are supporting you through your Nemesis form, you are going to have so much fun because you are borderline unkillable. If you are utilizing your block, which is kind of the way to play Ramattra, you are really good, and you can chase down squishies really easily. It is so much fun. I've been playing all morning with him. It is amazing. Please get in game and try it. They also gave him a little buff to his Void Barrier. The cooldown for Void Barrier got reduced by 2 seconds, which basically means that if you're cycling through your abilities, but if you use your barrier in your Omnic form and then wait for your barrier to deplete, pop your Nemesis form. By the time you're out of your Nemesis form, the 8 seconds, you should have your barrier back. So you can kind of keep cycling through block, barrier, like it's just a really good cycle to go through, which also helps with making Ramattra this almost unkillable tank. But then again, if the team coordinates onto your backline, yeah, you're not going to be able to do a lot. So Ramattra is just, I personally think he's pretty damn strong. He's not overpowered in any way, but he can have the potential to be really pub stomping tank. Like it's really fun. But let's get into the other big one, the damage roll. Sojurn got some big changes. Personally, I'll go through the changes and then I'll give my final thoughts on it. But Railgun's primary fire spread increased by 28%. Disruptor shot no longer slows enemy movement, and power slide cooldown increased from 6 to 7 seconds. Here's what I think. Primary fire spread increased by 28%. It's good. Lower ranks are going to struggle with hitting things at far ranges, but in the higher ranks, I'm pretty sure already most of the higher level Sojurns were tap firing a few bullets and then resetting the spread. So I don't think this is going to do too much. I know that they want you to play more closely, which this will help with. You're going to have to take Jules closer to the enemy, but I don't think this is going to change too much for the higher rank, mainly the lower ranks. Disruptor shot no longer slowing enemies is huge. Disruptor shot is the giant orb that she sends out. That not slowing enemies is massive because it means that you can get out of it quicker. Like as a support, I love that because I honestly, this was one of my most hated abilities in the game because of the slow. But now with no slow, you're not going to be able to get that disruptor shot and then easy track from a target trying to get out. So this is a big nerf, the disruptor shot no longer slowing enemies. I think that's the biggest one. And then a nice little cooldown increase on the power slide, which personally I thought the power slide was a little too strong. I still think it is still one of the best movement abilities in the game, especially on the damage roll. Yeah, good nerfs to Sojurn. I don't think this is going to bring her power down too much. She's still going to be really good. But I think these are just, yeah, these are definitely heavy-handed nerfs, especially the disruptor shot, which again, thank you Blizzard. I'm actually really impressed that they've taken these steps, that now they have the quick patch ability to patch things quickly without a major update. So I want to see more of these when things are broken, like Sojurn. Alright, moving on to Tracer. The damage pistol buff that she got at the start of the season from 5 to 6 has been reduced by half. So she had a 1 damage buff, now it's down to 5.5. So it's still a buff from where she was last season because it was 5 damage a shot. Now it's 5.5. So Tracer's still going to be strong. She was dominating, especially with the buffed bug that they haven't removed because her drop off on her pistol starts at 20 meters now, I believe. So she can kind of spray at long ranges and get the 5.5 damage on every single bullet, which makes Tracer a lot more viable. And this also helps with her 1 clipping ability. So this is really good. She's very lethal to the backline if you don't deal with the Tracer quickly. Okay, and just before we go on to supports, I did want to mention that there has been teased Junker Queen, a Junker Queen patch coming in the mid-season. So I'm also really excited for that. I don't know any details about it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Junker Queen get a few buffs. I am sorry, my voice is breaking so much. But let's move on to the support. Alright, big news for support. Ana has gotten buffs, and actually very significant buffs. So, damage and healing increase from 70 to 75. This is huge. There are certain damage thresholds that Ana couldn't hit when dealing damage to, say, a 250 to 25 health target. But now with these, with the 5 damage buff to her damage, it means that she's going to be able to take out Reapers and Maze and maybe not Torbjorns because of the armor, but Reapers and Maze are going to be able to get taken down in 3 shots rather than 4, which is huge for Ana's damage capability. The extra healing is also huge because extra healing is always a good buff. It's not always a good buff in terms of if there's too much healing, things aren't going to die and it just feels like shit to play the game. But I think the 5 extra healing shouldn't affect that too much. Next up, there's the Biotic Grenade buff, which is the effect duration increase from 3 to 4 seconds. Again, this does make Hog weaker, which is always good. Even though Suzu's in the game, this is what the Biotic Grenade used to be back in Overwatch 1. Now it's back up to the 4 seconds, and from playing the game, that extra second of not having the anti-effect on an enemy is massive. Like, as a support, playing against an Ana, say Ana v Ana, if their Ana hit a nade on my team, I have found that 9 times out of 10, my teammates would have died to the purple effect if it was a second longer, right? So I think this is a really good buff to Ana because it, again, increases her lethality and increases her impact on the team fight. I still want to see some Ana movement. Personally, I think the nade, honestly, it has a lot of utility, the nade. But imagine if you could splash the nade at your feet, you get the healing bonus, plus you get a speed boost bonus. I don't know if that's probably not a good idea, but I think maybe it could work if there was like a slight speed boost on Ana, just to give us some movement. Because Ana is a very stationary character at the moment, and that's kind of what she's struggling with, is that everything else has this like movement to get away from things, but Ana's a little stuck. So I want to see a bit more drastic changes to maybe her abilities, like tuning the cooldown times a little bit. But yeah, this overall is a really nice patch to Ana. Now on Kiriko, the protection Suzu got a slight nerf. The invulnerability duration has been reduced from 1 to 0.85 seconds, which is kind of significant, but not really. Maybe for the higher ranks, it's going to be a bit more significant, because this just means that it's good because if you Suzu someone, they're not going to be invulnerable for the whole second. It's a nerf because, well, it's less invulnerability time, and also it means that you're going to have to hit the Suzu at a much more precise time. To be more specific, 0.15 seconds more precise than you would before to keep your teammate alive from like a Diva Bomb, a Junkrat Tire, Roadhog one-shot, something like that, okay? So overall, there are a few bug fixes, I won't get into those, but overall, these are I'm really impressed with these patches. The game, I'm not going to comment on how it feels because I haven't played comp yet, but overall, Ramattra is just so much fun right now. So please get in game, try out the new character, and just try out these new patch notes, because it is really exciting to see that they've actually started listening to their community. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think about the patch notes down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.